What Got You Here Won't Get You There was one of those books that I was resistant to reading because the title just, I don't know, sounded like one of those self-help cliches. I assumed the book would just be filled with the same. And if I read one more book talking about Roger Bannister's 4-Minute Mile or that damn kid walking on a beach and throwing a starfish back into the sea, I'm going to go mental. But this book was recommended by somebody that I really respected, so I begrudgingly read the book. And I fell in love with it and the writing style. I'm talking like 5 out of 5 head tilts on this book for sure. The book concept is very simple. If you want to be a better leader, you need to address your own flaws and weaknesses, and then he starts identifying the top 20 bad habits or toxic behaviors that even great leaders demonstrate from time to time. And as you start reading about these bad habits, it feels like a punch in the gut when he writes about one that you're guilty of doing. And in the best possible way, it's a really painful punch in the gut because you see more clearly than ever the destructive nature that your bad habits have among those around you. And I'd much rather read a book that points out my flaws than one that just gives me a pep talk and tells me how special I am. Now, the book isn't just a pure beatdown, by the way. He also provides specific, actionable things that you can do to overcome those flaws and develop the habits of successful leadership. Here's a few of the highlights from the book that really stood out for me. If you press people to identify the motives behind their self-interest, it usually boils down to 4 items: money, power, status, and popularity. People will not tell the truth if they think it will come back to haunt them. And in a power relationship, subordinates have no guarantee that the unvarnished truth won't anger the boss, send them back to the end of the line, or worse, get them fired. As human beings, we almost always suffer from the disconnect between the self we think we are and the self the rest of the world sees in us. Based on that last quote, I was so moved that I created a list of all 20 bad habits and a brief explanation of them, and then I handed out to the people that mean the most to me in life to have them give me an honest assessment of how they see me and what habits I could improve. In fact, it was such an effective tool for opening up honest conversations with my friends. It became a management tool in my company and for many clients. So if you read this book and you're so moved, feel free to email me asking for the questionnaire, and I'll send it to you as my way of saying thanks for watching this review. Just put 20 bad habits in the email subject line, and my email server will bump your email right to the top of my inbox. By the way, if you're curious as to what the 20 bad habits are, then I guess this review has served its purpose. Go get the book and read it. But here's 3 of them. Winning too much. The tendency to always want to win and be right, even at the expense of others. Adding too much value. The tendency to add one's input to every situation, even when it's not needed. Failing to give recognition. The tendency not to acknowledge or give credit to others for their contribution. If you want the other 17, go read the book. You'll be glad you did. And when you do, come back to this video to share with me and the other viewers what parts of the book jumped out for you. And by all means, please leave the titles to some of the books that you recommend in the comments. Speaking of which, I've got some other great book reviews I'll be releasing shortly. The Coddling of the American Mind by Greg Lukianoff and Jonathan Haidt, and The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. So if you click subscribe, you'll be the first to know when those reviews drop. And of course, a like and a comment sure would be useful, so YouTube starts spreading the word to others looking for a good read. That's it for now. Until the next review, let's all try a little harder to be a little better. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch that book review. If you liked it, I think you might like this one as well. Check it out.